What's good, everybody? Yeah, it's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Jump. Brothers, the other day, man, I'm chilling on Facebook again. And I don't know why that is, man. I just was on the book, man. I've been going crazy and shit, right? And lo and behold, again, the Facebook timeline walls, the guys of the Facebook gives me this particular clip. And it's from a good buddy of mine, Mr. Locario, right? And, Mr. Locario, and I have to honestly say this, I've dealt a lot of collaborations in the dating coach community. I have a lot of respect for him and Miles Cunningham, Steve the Dean, ARC, because these guys have been, Locario, they've been doing it, before YouTube was popping, right? And he has a lot of content, more so than anybody that I know. So Mr. Locario definitely, I believe, is a guy who is legit in the game, for sure, right? And him and Miles Cunningham, they're business partners. I also like Miles Cunningham. Miles Cunningham is a real thorough guy. I would love to have him on my show. But the Locario has come on strong in the last few years with black men, right? Because the black manosphere has evolved. So with more men listening to the message of the manosphere, then what happens is you get more guys that can come into the dating coach community, which there is a black dating coach community. You have Alpha Male Strategies, you have Stefan Clinkscales, you got Steve the Dean, you have, guys like Donovan Sharp. Book of Alpharonomy is not a dating coach, but you have guys that talk about dating issues like him. So that sector is live and well. So there was a part of a show that he and Miles were doing, in which they're talking about black men complaining about black women, right? And I never really seen Mr. Locario go off like this before, but I want to play this because he says if you are a black man who can't attract black women, your game is weak, right? Because a lot of brothers use that as an excuse. Now, a lot of brothers go to overseas, all right? A lot of brothers go to the Dominican Republic. Some brothers go to Brazil, Colombia. Shout out to Black Men's Travel. I just did an interview with him. He's in Medellin. A lot of brothers were talking about, how they're having issues with black women in Black America. So they got to get out of there and go to where they're respected or go to white women. Now, interestingly enough, Mr. Locario is married, but I believe he allows himself and his wife, they both still date other people, right? It's a unique circumstance, but, Locario is not one of those guys that, like hates black women or anything like that. His wife just happened to be white. But I want to play this clip, right, of this snippet that they posted. And let's talk about this, and let's see what we got here.
If you're watching that coach and they're talking about black women and black women this, black women that, they're all this and this and that, understand all he's saying is black women are like that to me. You understand? Because he's just relaying his experience. You see what I'm saying? He's relaying his experience to the audience. So that means that he's not getting cooperation from black. Listen, I tell people this all the time. I have never, ever had any issue with black chicks, period, ever. You understand? And when I say that I've never had an issue, I'm saying I've never had an issue with black women more than any other woman. You understand? So if I had an issue with a black chick, it was just me having an issue with a chick back in the day, because you wouldn't probably have some issues with certain women if they was being uncooperative regardless. But I've never had it where I was like, damn, I'm with like, I've been for the last 3 years, I've been with number of black chicks and I can't get shit popping. Or I've been with like 90% of the black women I'm with, they ain't trying to hit with me. No, in fact, I'll even say this. Black women are the easiest women for me to get with. You understand what I'm saying? Because black women usually want to with black men. So if you're a black guy and you having trouble getting black women, you're whack. Do you understand what I'm saying? Period.
Game is weak.
So you heard what he had to say. Woo! And again, I've never heard Locario turn up like that. Even Steve the Dean. Now, Steve the Dean notoriously in the past has had back and forth with black women. Steve the Dean is married to a white man, and Steve the Dean ultimately believed in what he's saying. And this stream is, I believe this came in, why you need a real dating coach. Why you need a dating coach, a real one, not a fraud one. And I want to just deal with that particular video and go check out Mr. Locario's channel in the first comment pinned to the top. I have to say this, man. You know, I'm a guy that I experienced both sets of issues. You know, I was a guy that was, hardworking, talented, still am, and smart. And I did understand that on the outside looking in, that it could have been harder for me to deal with, certain black women, because when I was a little bit younger, it was more about guys who were more, into the wrong thing, stuff like that. All right. Guys like that. But see, here's where we're at now. All right. When I really look at it now, I have to agree with my boy, Sinful to P. I asked him, I said, man, do women want to mess with you because, you're the pimping or you come from the streets and stuff like that? And Sinful to P told me, hey, man, they like me. Didn't matter if I was a mechanic. Didn't matter if I was the pimping. Didn't matter if I was the pastor. They like me. And I think what happens is, with a lot of black men, brothers put the excuse out there that, well, I'm an academic, I'm a technical guy, I'm a hardworking guy, and black women don't like me. And that's why I need to deal with other groups of women. But at the same time, I went to Howard University, man. I have friends that are dentists. I have friends that are medical doctors. I have friends that are lawyers. And man, some of these are the coldest players in the streets, bro. I have brothers that, dentists, like with all types of women, man, black women in Atlanta. And it comes to like, these guys just have confidence in themselves, right? And they believe in themselves. They set standards for themselves, and women have to respect that. That's the difference that I see. Now, I will say this. I do see where the brothers have a point. There are some brothers I feel culturally that it's harder to connect, with African-American women, because for me, I'm a smart guy, but also I have a lot of nigga juice in me. I can switch it up, and, I have that, I grew up around the streets. So for me, it wasn't like I'm a guy that, related to, suburbia, or, I went to school not around African Americans. And that makes it easier for me to bond with African American people and black women in general, right? Because I'm a nigga, so I understand how that works. A lot of brothers that can't bond like that will tend to have a little bit more difficult issues, usually. But again, a woman can like any type of man that has, that's a man. And I do understand where brothers come from, with certain situations. But again, the game, like the brother said, I'm agree with him on most parts of this. The game is what it's about. Because, a person, you can only allow a person to do what you allow them to do. You know what I'm saying? If they're going to have respect for you, whether you are a nerd, geek, or you're a tech guy, doesn't matter, right? You're going to set your standards. You're going to make yourself feel valuable. You're not going to chase some woman or put her above you. Doesn't matter, because you could be a dope boy and do that. You could be a dope boy and be a simp. You could be a gangster and be a simp. You could be a gangster and lose your woman to a medical doctor because he ain't tripping off her like that. That, just because you in the streets don't mean you ain't a simp. Because you got a lot of black men in jail that have been shooting and fighting over chicks all the time. You could be a guy that's a technical engineer and you make a woman work for, your time because, you feel like, hey, This is what it takes to be with me. You got to do X, Y, and Z. And that woman want to be with you, she going to have to acquiesce. So I do kind of more or less agree with Locario that, now I'm somewhere also in the middle. I do understand that, there's truth to both sides. But usually, it has a lot to do with, and I'll say this also. What I've noticed is, we won't tell why I'm going to say this. Guys who leave the black community, and let's say they just say they don't date black women anymore, they just date white women or whatever, they're still going to have some of those same problems that they've always had. Okay? Usually if it's a relationship, like I know black dudes, they go marry, date white girls. You're going to meet your match over there. It's more or less, and don't get me wrong, some of the other women out there, I do understand that they have more of a, it's easier for them to bond with a guy. It's easier for them to understand, there's male leadership, patriarchy, and stuff like that. And they can respect men more. I get it. That is true. But in general, like I said, man, the game is where it's at, in my opinion. So I think Locario makes some strong points in this. What do you guys think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Check out the first comment pinned to the top. Check out the Black Men Are Perfect t-shirts, brothers. I do thank you for your support. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at all time. I check out the Patreon. Peace out.